Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and excuse me, I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in the county of Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you for joining us this morning. I have an idea in my head. I haven't tried it out, so I'm going to give it a go this morning, and fingers crossed I get the result that I have in mind. We'll see. This is one of those experimental cards and yeah, let's see if it works. So I'm going to show you the stamp set that I've been using all week so far, and then I'm going to explain what I'm trying to do, and then with any luck we'll be able to come up with a design that works. This is the theory, so let's give that a go. So I'm just popping this up on my phone so I can see everybody. There we go. Okay, so let me quickly show you what we've made this week so far. So this is the Delivering Cheer stamp set. It features two bottom halves and three top halves. One is flowers, one is a Christmas tree, one is presents, and then we've got a rather elegant skirt here, and then a coat or dress or skirt and some boots on this one. So these were the cards I made Monday. So I've got a Get Well card and a Christmas card. I created this one at the weekend to see how the whole thing would work out, and then yesterday I created this one here as a Christmas card, and this is actually 3D because I've cut out the skirt and some of the presents. It's quite difficult to see that actually, and I photographed it and it's just as difficult to photograph, but these are popped up on dimensionals to give it a little bit of interest. So my plan today is to work this with the Give It a Whirl dies, and these are the ones where you can add a spinning element to your card. And I use these for a class, and you have seen me use them on Coffee and Card and our Facebook Lives, and it consists of a wheel section that spins around an aperture, and there are 4 apertures altogether. There's a circle, there's a rectangle, there's a heart, and there's a wedge. Can't think of the word for that. So these are the different ones here. So what I had in mind is that I have this picture in one of the segments, this picture in one of the segments, and then a sentiment, probably a birthday sentiment. So that's the theory. So what I'm going to do is cut out a circle and stamp the 3 elements of that to start with. And then what I'm going to try and do is stamp this one here and the hand portion on the top, and pop that on the card so that it's the hands sit over this element here, if that makes any sense. So if I've got this one here, morning Jeanette, those hands will sit. Let me put this behind. So this is the segment that will have the flowers and the presents in, and then the hands will sit on top, and so then when he spins it round, the hands will hold different things. So that's my theory, and we'll see. So I can either fussy cut that or stamp it straight on, so I might do stamping to start with, and then maybe fussy cutting. We'll give it a go. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out the spinning element, which was just here. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to cut out two just in case I make an error. I'll just do this off camera. It's not very exciting to watch. So I hope everybody's well. It's nice and sunny so far here this morning. I've stopped looking at the forecast, so it seems to be all over the place. Okay, so there is one, like so, and I will just cut out another. And then I won't need it with any luck. Go. So what I'm going to do is stamp in those segments in the Whirl, so that this will rotate around and have a different element in each one. Now, to make my life a bit easier, and if you can see, there are some guidelines on here where this meets down to hold the center pinhole. I'm not sure that you can see that really. Oh, maybe just. So what I'm going to do is stamp in each of these three, and I'm going to use a post-it note to mask off so that each one is a separate segment. So let me pop piece of grid paper underneath, like so, and a piece of post-it note, and just going to cut this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is position this post-it note along the inside edge, so I have a little gap in between each of those items, like so, and then I know that I can stamp right the way down to the bottom. So let's give it a go. Let's do the presents first. So I know that I don't want to come too far off the top, or the top will be cut off. So let's grab some black and give this a go. So I know that the top of the this element here is inside of a line that I can see. I'm not sure that you can see it. So what I'm going to do is position the presents so that they fit in. Good morning, Carol. Sort of in between there. So that if I put this one on, if I'm using this one, it will fill that segment. You could of course use the circular one as well. Okay, so there's one. Next one I'm going to do, again, pop my post-it note back in. And this one, So again, I'm putting it on the inside edge, if you like, of this area here. And I'm going to use the flowers, but I think what I might do is I might stamp this in green, so there's more greenery. Let me grab my green ink pad, or a green ink pad. Let's do Granny Apple Green. So inking that up. So what I want is basically the flowers to be centre stage. Take my glasses off again. Like so. And I might just add a little bit in this corner. So this little bit here actually is the wrapping. But I don't think you're going to see that. So what I'm going to do, stamp a little bit there. Let me have a look and see. Yeah, I think that works. I can add a bit more colour when I do my colouring on there. So that's 2. And then this is the 3rd one. So I'm just going to stamp a sentiment, I think, for this one. So glad it's your birthday I've got here. So I think I'm going to do this in purples like heather. So I've got Highland Heather ink for the birthday message. Let me see. And again, I don't need to mask this off because it's smaller than the little window. So I do know that I need it to be fairly straight, like so, when I stamp it. Okay. Right, so do say hi if you're joining us. I can see the numbers are racking up. So do let me know if you're watching. So the theory is you see that window and then that window and then this one. So I think that will work. Fingers crossed. Hi Sylvia. So let's just colour these in really quickly. And I'm going to stick to sort of purples and what have you. So let's just, so this is light Highland Heather. Like so. And hi Tracy. Can't believe it's Wednesday already. Okay, so I've got that one there. Let's do this little ribbon here. And I've got dark Highland Heather. Let's try it for this one, just for the bow. So it's a little bit close to the top, but I think I'll be okay. Here comes the postman. Okay, let's have a little bit of light balmy blue. Oh, thanks, Babsy. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. So I'm trying it with the Give It a Whirl dies just to see. I know that this will work on its own, but what I want to do is stamp the girl holding everything and see if I can make that work. Okay, just a little bit of pink on that bow and maybe at the top here. So this is Flirty Flamingo. Light and dark. And obviously you can add some Wink of Stella or something to this to add a glittery element. I definitely need a little bit of yellow. Hi Kerry. That's that one. And let's just keep this the same. That will do. So there's our presents. And then if I turn this round, this is our greenery. So I'm just going to add, with our blends pens, a little bit of Highland Heather. And I'm just going to dot this round. So I stamped this in green because the majority of this is greenery. Whereas previously I'd stamped it in black and then coloured it in. So I'm just literally dotting that. And then let's add a little bit of blue. So I'm trying to keep these, keep the colours in. Like so. And you could put a little of shading around the edge with a blending brush if you wanted to, might do that. But just in terms of seeing whether this will work, let's start here. So just dotting those in rather than brushing them on, and then let's add a little bit of yellow as well. Just going for a different look really. There we go, that will do. Okay, so there is our spinning element. I want to say that's the easiest bit. So there's one, let's just find that hole there, 2 and 3. So I think that will work. Now I'm not quite sure what front piece to do, so I'm going to start with excuse me, I'm going to start with a white piece, but I might swap it out for stone or something like that. But I want to see if I can get the girl's arms stamped around here. So I'm going to take the other element of the die, which is this large piece here, to cut this out, and then I'm going to use this piece here for the window. So if you haven't used the Give It a Whirl dies, they are really easy to use. I do have an online class available, so you can buy just the class itself for £8, and you'll get access to all the videos. So I'm just going to cut that out first, and then with this little piece here, so bear with me while I do that. So I'm busy with our next class, so bookings for that are going well. Bookings close on Sunday this week, But the packs get sent out in order of booking, so the earlier you book, the speedier your box will be. Right, looking for my plate. So just bear with me while I cut this out. Sorry, it's not very interesting for you, is it? I do apologise. Right. Sunshine's gone. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so here is that piece. So I definitely need to make that colour, but let me just try stamping it, because then I can do a patterned piece of paper on top if I need to. So let me just cut this little window. So the best way to do that, you can cut it at the same time, but then you have to pierce the hole. So I like to cut it separately, like so. And if I can find a little bit of that tape that I threw away yesterday, that would be helpful. So just lining that up there. I'm going to pop that through. Say the brick paper would look quite nice with this, wouldn't it? Okay. Keep that little bit. Right, so let's give this a go. So first thing I want to do is make sure that this mechanism will work the way that I want it to before I go and do any serious decorating. So I'm just going to bring in my mini brads. Just pop that through there. Pop it through here first though. These are great for children's cards. Really good. Okay, just going to fold this back, because what I want to make sure is that this will work the way that I want it to. So I've got my flowers, got my birthday sentiment, and I've got my presents. Okay, so I know that that will work. That to one side. Okay, so what I want to do is stamp the skirt and the arms, so that the arms are holding the messages, and this one here is quite clear. So this one here, grab I've only got a, you can find a wipe to clear that off with. So I don't want green arms. I'm going to use black for that. Just going to ink it all up to start with, and then I'll mask off the area that I need. Okay. Oh, that's a bit scrappy too. That will do. So what I want to do is have the arms there. Now unfortunately the dot is going to be right in the middle of the hand, but if I make them gloves I think I can get away with that. So what I'm going to do is grab my post-it note. Oops. And let's see what I need to mask off. I'm just going around this gap here. So I think that will work. Let's give it a go. Nothing ventured and all that. Oh, I don't need to do the top. So all I'm looking at is the hands coming around this sort of semicircle. Let's see. Okay, that sort of works. Sort of works. Right, let's stamp the base of the body. So I'm going for this one with the boots because that's got a gap where this, either the flowers or the scarf is. So I could make this into a scarf for this purpose. Like that. Now one of the demonstrators around the world did this type of design on the previous set that we had. She did it slightly differently, and I think the legs changed rather than the bits at the top. So that was the sort of inspiration really. So let's see. Okay, not bad. Slight gap there, but I've got a pen that I can draw a line in if I need to. So this is going to go there. Yeah, I think that will work. So let's see what colour skirt should we have, or coat. I sort of want to do Highland Heather, but I think that there might be a bit too much of that. So maybe a light fresh freesia would do the job. So let's see. And I was going on the basis that if this didn't work, I could use a coloured, so a designer series paper background like bricks or something, and then cut her out and put her on top. So I might still do that, either online if you want to see that, or do it afterwards. This is fresh freesia. So I'm just going to bring the dark in here. Behind those folds, like that. Okay. So let me know what you think. Obviously you wouldn't want to be doing hundreds of these. Well, let's put it this way, I wouldn't want to be doing hundreds of these. But they do make rather a special card, don't they, I think. And you could just have sentiments, obviously. But when I saw the images, I thought it was perfect for this. So what I'm going to do is colour this bit in as part of her coat. And colour sleeves I'm going to have. Blue, I think. Be a very special card. Yes. I think you're right, Kerry. Right, I'm going to have blue sleeves. That's dark, isn't it? So these bits here are actually from the flowers, aren't they? So I'm just going to colour that in. And I'm not sure what to do about that bit there. I'm not quite sure. I think it could be the it could still be the sleeve, couldn't it? I think. That's where I've sort of cut it off. So let's do that. So not perfect. So what I would do next time potentially is either move the hands up a little bit so the hands are right here, and then you wouldn't have that gap. But I think people will be focusing on the whole image rather than anything else. So I'm going to make this sort of scarf element, which I could have done actually up in the top. Okay, let's put a little bit of pink, light pink. I'm looking for petal pink. Light petal pink. So. And then the gloves, I'm going to do grey because I'm just wondering if I had any grey. I've got black, black and white. Although I have got some silver brad somewhere, but let's do this grey granite for the minute. So sorry, this bit is slightly boring, isn't it? Well, I'm just choosing colours, so I do apologise. Okay. Right. Okay, just going to ground her a little bit. And I think I could obviously stamp some background, some flowers or something in there. So let us see how that looks now. So actually, if I stamp this and cut it out, you could be more accurate, couldn't you? So I think I will probably do that. And also there'll be less white. Thank you, Kerry. It's very sweet of you. Okay, so we've got presents, flowers. So glad it's your birthday. Perfect. So I can't quite decide whether to decorate this. I could just blend the background, couldn't I? I think I will do that, and I might stamp over it a little bit. Sorry, I've gone really croaky. Okay, looking for my blending brushes. Here. So I've got some purple. So let's grab that Highland for the ink pad. Morning, Brenda. So what I'm going to do is do around the edge. Hi, Joanne. Thank you. I'm glad you're beginning to like it. So I'm just going to do this. Now if this doesn't work and I'm not happy with it, what I am going to do is cut my lady out and then do a stone background. Because there's a lot of white space going on here. Feel some glue on there. Can you colour the pin? Yes, you can. You can colour it with a blends pen or a Sharpie. With a blends pen you might need quite a few layers, but I have a feeling I have a Sharpie in a purple colour. Having said that, where it sits on the glove is a sort of grey. Okay. Morning, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us. Haven't seen you for a little while. I hope you're well. Okay. So with the pin, you could, let's see. So this is a white pin, so for example you could colour it with the blends pen, if you can see that. Make sure you go around the edges as well. So you could definitely do that to hide it. Bear in mind you will really need to do that with a white one, obviously. You won't be able to colour a black one in. So this is the grey granite I use for the gloves. So let's just do that on here. Around the edges. Okay, make sure you let that dry. It should dry fairly quickly, but should do the job. Oh my goodness. Oh. So Rebecca had a right thumb joint replacement. So 2 weeks ago, she's off sick for at least 10 weeks and she can't craft with a plaster on. No, I'm not surprised. Oh, bless you. But you can get plenty of ideas, can't you? Okay, let's just put those to one side. So this is our bit behind, like so. That's going to spin round, so that does actually work fairly well. Okay, let's find a base card for this. And I'm thinking the Highland Heather, or maybe the Fresh Freesia. Might need to cut a Fresh Freesia. Oh, I've got. Let's have a look. See. Oh. got some flowers on it. Okay, so that works quite well on the gorgeous grape. I think it works less well on this one here, which is Highland Heather. So as I've got this one to hand, I'm going to use this one like so. Okay, so the way that I put my spin the wheel cards together is I add dimensionals to the reverse of the wheel, but leave the backings on, because obviously you need it to rotate. Let's do this on here. Let me grab my dimensionals. Oh, those are mini. I don't want mini. We'll be here forever. Okay, I've got this one, which is the edges of the mini. So I'm just going to cut 3 elements of that. So this is just to give it some height from the backing card, so that it raises it up, and I find it makes it easier to spin. Just my preference. Okay, so make sure you leave the backings on, otherwise it will stick. And then what I like to do is I like to, on the back of here, use some of the strips, so this is even higher, and I'll put these around the edge, and obviously this is going to be there, so I want to avoid putting any on in the place. Of where the wheel is, I should say, sorry. Just didn't finish my sentence, did I? Okay, so I'm going to put one down here. Get rid of this rogue hair. One up here. Get away with that one along the top. So you don't want it too close to the edge that you see it around the edge of the card. And you want to avoid obviously being anywhere near the movement here. But I find this is the best combination for me. So this is our foam adhesive strips. I can get a little one in there and maybe one across here. Get that little one. Final one there. So I'm just, you may think this is a little bit excessive, but I just want to make sure it's just nicely supported, really, all the way around. Okay, so let's find our grey one here. I'm going to pop it through there and through there. That's it. Flatten the back, so, and then this will rotate nicely like that, and then remove these backings and pop it onto our base card. So make sure you leave these backings on. So you don't have to put dimensionals on the back of here, but I'll show you why I do. Okay, I'm going to use this card that's got some prettiness going on. There we go. So the reason I put dimensionals on the back is that this piece here is lifted up from the base. If it was really flat, it's quite difficult to turn, whereas by lifting it up, it's much easier to turn. So there we go. It worked. From my brain cells to the craft desk, it worked. So you could stamp a sentiment along here. You could add some background stamping, obviously before you layer it up and add the dimensionals. So what I'm going to do is a variation on this, just really quickly, maybe just even the front piece. Thanks, Kerry. And that is to use a piece of designer paper and then fussy cut around the girl with her legs. So stamp her in entirety and fussy cut that and put it on the top so that I avoid this problem here where I've got a little bit of a gap. So that's what I'm going to go on and do. If you've seen enough, I fully understand. So let me just grab a little bit of background paper. So it could be floral if you wanted it to look like wallpaper, but I'm thinking in good taste paper. I mean, there's all sorts you could use. Let me find my in good taste paper. So I've got this one. Or this one here. I was thinking. I mean, to be honest, you could use any of these. You could use the wood. It's got lots of different wood grains. What do you think? I think that's a little bit dark. So I'm thinking this one, like so. So what I'm going to do just quickly is run that through with this here. Oh, thanks, Jeanette. Take care. And that again. Now you could use a circular one, but I think that works quite nicely actually, because you get to see more of it. So let me do that really quickly. As I say, you've seen the principle. So let me just cut that out. Bear with me, trying to get it lined up. Roughly straight. Be good, wouldn't it, really? Okay. So there's my backing. I do need to cut this piece out, and then I'll fussy cut my lady. So I'm just going to pop this wheel back on, this sort of arch segment, slice, whatever you'd like to call it. There we go. I've got my my spinning piece all ready, so all I need to do is stamp my 3 elements on there again. Let's put this away before I lose it. That one, and that one. Grab a piece of white. So I'm going to stamp my lady and the top part of here as if it was one. So let's do that really quickly. And then I'm going to fussy cut out the elements that I want. Okay, just going to do this on here. I haven't got a mat underneath, but I'm pretty sure I'll be okay. Oh, bless you. Maritta's got low battery. Sylvia's got to go. That's fine, Sylvia. Thank you. Brenda's got to go. That's fine. And Lynn's arrived after meetings. So this is what we've made so far. My little practice run. So really pleased with that. Came out as good as I'd hoped for a starting point. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is stamp the bunch of flowers so that I've got the hands. That's what I'm after. Thank you, Lynn. We decided this would definitely be a special birthday card or Christmas card. So I'm just going to pop this down so that these two just about join. Hopefully I've got that right. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to colour this in and then I'm going to fussy cut around the arm, the sleeves, and then that is going to go on top of here. Let's colour it first. Okay, what colour skirt? I've had a purple skirt or top. I've had a yellow one. I've had red. Oh, fancy yellow again. Right, dark daffodil tonight. Okay, it says blue. Okay, just in time. Night of navy. Like it's sort of like a denim, maybe. Nothing to stop you paper piecing this, of course, as well. So we did some paper piecing yesterday, where you stamp onto some designer paper and then layer it on the top. So if you're not a fan of colouring in, you could do exactly the same. So I'm just going to do this really quickly. And I've decided this lady is going to have tights or leg warmers on, that you're stamping the blue as well. Or a blue, I should say. Okay, just going to do that really quickly. So sleeves the same, do we think? Like so. And here. I'm not doing anything special with my colouring in. Let's use this for a lighter cuff, like so, and here. So it's going to look like a scarf. Now I'm going to do this up a little way. So I'm not quite sure how much of that I'm going to add in. So I think I'm going to leave it like that and cut around that. Let's have dark balmy blue gloves. She's all in blue, this girl. She likes her denim. And let's just grab those cute little leg warmers, tights, whatever you want them to be. Let's grab that. And let's grab a blue ink pad. Got Night of Navy to hand. There we go. Okay, so she's going to go on the front of there. Move this to one side, and I've got my wheel here. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to mark this off. Along the top edge. I can find my other post-it notes. There we go. Like that. Put my sheets back. Stamping on, so she's going to be cut out and popped onto there. Let's quickly add the presents and the flowers. I'm going to do these in green again. Go. So I want to make sure I go right down to the bottom, so there isn't a gap at the bottom. So, and what I am going to do is ink it up, stamp it off and do a little bit so the whole thing gets filled basically. There we go. So I'm going to stamp it off once and then stamping that in the background. I'm going to do the same again here. Just to fill in that complete segment. Like so. Okay. Now I can add some colour into that exactly as I did here with this one. There we go. I can do that in a second. So there's one segment, and then I'm going to have the presents in another. Just need to see them. There we have them. So I'm going to stamp these in black, and again just use a fresher post-it note for this one. That one. And obviously you could put anything in here, and you could also do some masking. There's a hair attached to that. So you could have, you know, lots of presents, or balloons. Oh, that's given me any idea. Might put balloons in and then put a sentiment on the bottom. Okay, so presents next. Move the girl out of the way. So it's turning a bit more of a marathon, this, but you only have to watch the first half an hour to see how it's actually made. Oh, great minds think alike, Caru. Okay, so I'm just going to put this straight on. Go. I could add some presents behind it, so if I mask that off I could add some more on, but I'm going to leave that for the minute. And then I think balloons, Kerry, that'd be rather fun, wouldn't it? Let me grab Penguin Place, which has got this fab balloon stamp, and it's got little presents, so you could, it'd be quite fun to have. Well, so you wouldn't have a penguin whizzing around, but hey ho. That's because Kerry made a card today with the penguins and balloons. Okay, just poking that out so I can get that nice and straight, just seeing through there. I reckon that will work. So again, just using you can post-it note or sticky note, whatever you've got, across that top edge of the die. And I'm thinking I've got to do, well, I could do 3 balloons, but will it look a bit odd that the balloons just stop in the middle of nowhere? Do you think? I'm going to stamp one straight in, and then we'll see. And just want a fairly light. I'm going to go, what have we got? I'm going to go yellow, I've decided. So I've got Daffodil Delight. So do we think we should just put 1 balloon in, or should we mask and put more? It's just a fabulous balloon stamp, this one. Fabulous. Okay, and if luck would have it, 1 balloon fits in there perfectly. Let's have a look and see. So balloon, flowers, and presents. Maybe if I had them just coming down. Oh, I can't quite decide. It's coffee time. That's why I can't decide. I'm going to leave that as it is for the minute and come back to that. So let us, actually what I'm going to do is add, right, one looks good. Okay, you've convinced me, Kerry. And also I've gone on far too long. People will be switching off left, right and centre. There we go. Okay, so it's that. Let's just quickly do the presents then in blues and yellows and add a little bit of blue to the flowers. That's that one there. Night of navy. Go. Daffodil Delight. I've got light and dark. Go. Let's get this one. So that bow's just off the top. Let's add a little bit colour. So if you didn't see me do this before, I'm just dotting it really because there's a lot of detail already in there. Go. Voila. Right. A bit of light granny apple green. Let's do this bow here. And this one here. Oh, missed a tiny bit there on the bow. Let's do this one in green as well. Right. One. That one. And let's try soft sea foam. This one here. So I'm not doing anything technical at all with the colouring in. Right, let's put these out of the way for a second. Right, let's fussy cut our young lady. So the best thing when you're fussy cutting is to move the paper, guide the paper around and try and keep the scissors straight. Okay, a bit out of the way. As you know, fussy cutting is not my forte. I will do it in small doses. I know it's really, really effective. And I think it will work well for what I want it to do today. The other thing that would be rather fun with the boots is to add the fine tip glue to make them look like the boots are shiny and wet. Or you could use our glitter adhesive as well. So just cutting up here. And our snips are perfect for fussy cutting because they've got such a fine tip. You don't end up doing that cut and then it going sort of blunt at the top and then popping that off. There we go. That's it. And then I am going to run a grey pen around the edges as well, just to get rid of the white of the card. So let's just hop up here. There we go. So I'm just going to take light grey granite, I think. You could do it in blue as well. Just run this along the edges and that gets rid of any of the white at the edge of the card. And also if you've missed a little bit, it sort of covers that in. So I like to use a grey because then if you scrape it by accident, especially if you've got a light grey, it's, you know, you're less likely to put a mark on your paper. Actually just going to colour that in there, I think, and here. Right, the moment of truth, folks. So what I'm thinking is this is going to go right up onto there. It's going to go on dimensionals, and that means that the little wheel, the little brad will be hidden underneath here. There's a little hole there. Okay, let's add her on. Let's put the wheel in first. I can't help thinking spin the wheel every time. I blame Lynn for that. Oops. Oh dear. Doesn't matter what this one is, does it? Because it's going to be hidden. Okay, so I'm going to feed that through there, pop that through there, and flatten that. Like so. Now I think so she's going to go onto here like that. That definitely works, doesn't it? I would actually mount this piece of paper onto another piece of card, and that's because it's quite it's not thin, but it's not a heavyweight paper. So what I will do is do that when we've finished. I'm going to attach this onto a piece behind, but what I'm going to do is put this on so you can see the finished effect, like so. And I wonder whether to do the background, just colour that in with a very light grey, so it's not quite as bold. What do you think? Let's put her on and then we can decide, because I can mount that onto a piece of card after we've finished anyway. So let's use the mini dimensionals for this, which are the perfect size. And cut these for the legs. And the mini dimensionals have a nice big chunk at the side, which is perfect for trimming down into small narrow pieces. There we go, just a tiny one for that arm at the top, and then we're done. As I say, I am going to mount this onto a thicker piece of card, but I don't want to keep you waiting any longer. Actually, I can't do that because I need to unpin that to do it. So let me just show you what this will look like. Okay, so she's going to be mounted onto there with the dimensionals, and then you're just going to be able to turn this round. Flowers, presents, and a balloon. So I hope you like that, the finished, almost finished card. So what I'll do is I will take this off. I will cut another one of these in thicker card, excuse me, and lay that, sandwich that together basically. And then all of that will go onto probably a Daffodil Delight or a Balmy Blue card to finish. So I will do that off camera because it's not particularly exciting to watch. Thank you, Kerry. So I hope you like that. My idea did work. Let me know whether you prefer the cutout version or the stamp version. I think if this had a bit more going on, if I'd stamped a bit more, it would have been more effective. There's a lot of white space, but the effect is still the same. So there we go. So that's Delivering Chair, matched with the Give It a Whirl dies. I've used the papers here from In Good Taste, and I'll put a little sentiment across the bottom. Tracy says cut. Oh, she prefers the cutout. Yeah, well, it just gives it a bit more character, doesn't it? I think with this base, I think it's the background that makes a difference. Thank you, Lynn. So I'm going to love you, ladies, and leave you. Thank you so much for popping in today. It was a bit of an extended session. That wasn't what I had in mind, but there we go. And Carol likes the cutout version as well. So what I'm going to do now when I finish this is I'm going to put the kettle on, make myself a cup of coffee and finish this one off, and then I'll post the photographs and maybe I'll do a little video with the finished card so that you can see it and pop that up later on. So that's me for today, Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. UK time. Not quite sure what I'm doing tomorrow. So maybe I'll pick a celebration set and see what we can make with that. So thanks so much for joining me. As I say, I appreciate you spending the time with me today, especially for an extra long session. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for supporting me. Look after yourselves. Bye for now.